So it's a pretty great pick here for Boom. I think Cignal, they've got to be on point with the arena into Static Storm. You cannot stagger that. It has to be in play every single time. You have to maximize their two spells to win these fights. If you can do that, then your team fight is a lot better. So you can make that work out for you for Cignal. They just have to be on point with the execution. I think Boom, with what they have, is pretty open. Biggest thing to worry about is maybe the Mikado hero down mid. You want to see something that enables them to pick off the backline if possible, and Cignal is going to make that hard. Beastmaster there means that easy way to catch out Ricky, easy way to catch out any sort of slippery mid that might come out, so
Sorry about
value.
that barking, by the way, John. I'm not sure what my dog's going off about, but apologies for that. Go on. What were you saying? If she intends
It's
to
just
stop anytime soon.
it's fine. Yeah, it's just the Beastmaster here does make it trickier for Boom to maybe get a high mobility hero. You don't you don't have a lot of the meta mids here. They were banned out first, but you've got options for maybe the Storm. It's a bit risky, but it can be nice to pick off the Disruptor immediately if you're fast. It does make it a bit simpler when to take that Disruptor out of the equation. It's just against a Beastmaster, you risk all that control. So makes you really wonder what Boom wants to pick up. Like, you don't want something that will be extremely hurt by the lockdown. At the same time, you still need additional sort of a playmaker here because you don't really have the best control in the big 5v5.
Alright, well, their fourth pickup now, Boom Esports. They do go into the Kunkka, so great team fight coming out, and it's quite hard to get through the HP pools now of Boom Esports because you're going to have that boat run coming in. We do see this pick a lot up against things like the Beastmaster as well, because you do like to just get that roar out, and you like to just try and secure a quick, easy, clean pick off. But it's never really that easy if you have the Conqueror around, because you're just going to throw that boat out, and suddenly they're taking half the damage. Even the Mars will have quite a rough time into that boat as well, right? Because you just, again, want to burst somebody down, but it may not pan out that way. And I do like the Conqueror into the Ricky, because he kind of needs that little buff during a big team fight.
Yeah, it's giving a lot of Boom what they were missing. So that buff you were talking about can be in play. I think the additional AoE control is going to be key for Boom as well. So the Kunkka is a really good pick. I believe that does mean that we've got our 3 cores in line. So it's the Kunkka Ricky NP or the Kunkka Ricky clock cores. Still some flexibility there. But it looks like we will close out with a support for Boom. So that gives Cignal a little bit of leeway to maybe find what kind of matchups they want now. They have that kind of advantage with closing out this draft.
Okay, they go for the Witch Doctor. We've seen this before. Witch Doctor becoming ever so popular as a POS 5 as time goes on, and has been doing some decent work. Does do well up against the Mars as well. Again, you drop that arena, but you've got a Death Ward now to worry about, and even that paralyzing cast can be a bit annoying during the arena, to say the least. Cignal Ultra, their final pick. They'll have a think about it. They still need that POS 1. This does mean that it's going to be a mid Beastmaster or Mars, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mid Beast up against Kunkka is not a good time. Like, you're going to have to go Axis or feed the Boris to the Kunkka. So there's that to consider for a Cignal. They tie it up with the Faces Void. I don't know how I feel about that one. It's a lot of team fight, but it's a lot of cooldowns for Cignal. So there's a lot of downtime where Boom can just run up at you, keep fighting, keep finding the advantage. And if Cignal's not on point with centering themselves around a Bat's Chrono, it can kind of fall apart. They might not find that momentum, so they have to play perfectly with their timing or risk slipping this game.
That they do. We'll find out how it all pans out. Of course, Cignal Ultra at least would love to get a draw here up against Boom Esports, and Boom are playing to try and get to that upper bracket position in the group stage if they possibly can. We'll see if they can get a 2-0 victory over Cignal Ultra. They are halfway there thus far. Gotta say, by the way, I do love the clockwork set there from Hyde. Uh,
Yeah.
that's really that's literally the only good clockwork set right now, I'd say. The rest of them kind of look a bit lackluster, but that one really just takes the cake.
Oh, I don't know. I like the older ones. I think there's some old sets that just look like. There's one that looks like an Iron Man helmet. I think that's
No,
the
I
one I
don't like
used.
that
Pretty
one.
slick.
It's just the
It's
helmet though.
yeah. The rest of the set's kind of man. It's a mix and match for me with clock. You're all right though. As a full set, this is pretty neat. I want to point out Mikado's as well. That Inquisitor set from I believe that was the Warhammer collab. It's one of the it's one of the nicer ones. He looks like he's about to slay some heathens, like he is in Warhammer.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it is pretty cool. Why does Dreamersaur have a fish biting his dagger again? I don't I don't understand that one. Like there's a fish on his tail and there's a fish on his dagger. I'm not sure
Yeah,
why.
I don't know. Maybe he wanted to play Slark instead, so he went for something with fish on his cosmetics.
That's fair
Just
enough.
whenever he's forced to play it, right? Yeah, it's one way to get around that. Still, Cignal again. They've got a lot to try to pull out here. I think the big thing as well, they have to prevent Dreamosel from finding that farm. Because we've seen what happens when he gets that farm on any hero. Just starts playing aggressive, starts joining his team, and becomes very hard to control. So that's going to be important for Cignal to really control up as the game starts.
I just don't know if you can though. Like it's just going to be a little bit difficult to try and control that Ricky. And he really just needs a couple Wraith Bands into the treads to get aggressive with his team. They do have somewhat of a global lineup on Boom Esports this time as well with the Clock Nature's Prophet. You can just essentially have two extra heroes there in a blink from this dire side, and Cignal will have to be very, very cautious about how they play this. Of course, they will have Eris and Van in that off lane with the Beastmaster ES, so they're not going to run the BM mid. They are actually putting Jamesy on that Mars, which makes a lot more sense. I don't necessarily think this is still going to be a very easy lane for the Beastmaster. Like, it shouldn't be too bad into the Ricky, but you're still up against that Witch Doctor, who can stun up your balls for a very, very long time with those casks.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a risk. I think even for our Mars, like getting this shift out for the BM, it's not amazing for Mars. Like, Mikado has ways of playing around that. His cleave is a lot further reaching, so yeah, you really just have to be aware of how much Mikado can get done down mid.
Yeah, that you do. A bat. Go into FBZ. He does not get the bounty. Still does get some very, very nice damage onto that Nature's Prophet. However, Grims taking way more damage right now on that Disruptor. And Hyde wanted to keep chasing, but a bat will turn around, make sure his POS 5 does stay protected. And I believe I just saw Grims buying more regen for himself anyway. Should be just fine. This mid matchup with the Kunkka Mars, though, is the one I'm a little bit intrigued about. It seems like the Mars shouldn't have that big of an issue here up against that Kunkka.
It's not too hard for Jamesy. I mean, he has his own way of clearing out the waves with Rebuke, but Mikado has an easier time shoving it out from afar. So I'd say it's still a better time for the Kunkka, but it's not complete wash like it would be with, say, a Beastmaster. So it's a better time overall, and I can't believe we're at the second to last day of groups, and you're still getting internet issues here for well, basically every team.
What do you mean you can't believe it? You live in the region. You remind me all the time. I'm sure you can believe it of all people, John.
Yeah, but it's been so long that it's been like this. Like at some point, it usually like stabilizes to less than a pause every game, but yeah, we haven't really been able to avoid that.
That's true. Uh-oh. A bounty has already been placed. This time it is going to be Grims. Now, this is the first bounty being placed of the whole series, I believe. So Boom Esports must be feeling quite confident with themselves now that they've gone into the second game with a 1-0 victory. And I wonder if they'll get Grims in time. With Hyde, even at level 1, just with that battery assault, you can dish out a hell of a lot of damage. But the problem is Grims is providing a lot of damage back the way of FBZ. Just with that Thunderstrike alone, and it's quite hard for FBZ to actually feel comfortable in this lane as the Prophet if things keep up like this. Grim's now at that level 2 mark as well on the Disruptor, so should be able to provide more harassment, but here comes Hyde. That battery assault. Hard to trade when that battery assault's right on top of you, so you do have to kind of just kite him out. Eventually Hyde's going to go for the side pull anyway. But now Bat, going in, never mind that though. Top lane, Van does die. Kezcute securing the kill there on the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, it's just the bounce issues you talk about. Like, a lot of control can fly out on the Beastmaster if he's not careful. And when you have the boar build, just isolate him just right and get those perfect bounces. So, have to be a bit careful, Van. Don't want to give the Riki and Witch Doctor too good of a start. But Boom can be very pleased with just finding that first blood already.
There's no other feeling like playing POS 5 and getting first blood. I mean, it's just the best feeling in the world, knowing that you actually got gold. You know, that you don't have to give away to your cause for once. And Kezcute will take the time to buy some brown boots for himself. So he's not walking barefooted anymore. Very, very nice indeed. Not every POS 5 has that luxury, John. As you should know. Mid lane, I've got to say though, Jamesy's not having a great time on that Mars. Like, you look at his HP, he's really got no regen left. And Makoto's just constantly threatening now with the X. No, Torrent just going to be thrown out. No, he'll cancel that as well. He just keeps Jamesy on very, very low HP in the mid lane. There's just nothing he can do about this.
Yeah, I think that's actually a bigger win. Look, Jamesy has to walk home. You don't find the kill, but you really take away his EXP gain. And Mikado, if he hits a fast 6, you can look to him to try to make a play, find some kills of his own down mid.
He didn't want to buy any regen. He was saving for the bottle. Now he does have the bottle. It's just a matter of whether it was worth saving that much gold for that bottle. Whereas you look at Makoto, he's got the double braces up already, working towards his phase boots, and well, that bottle's not necessarily gonna save this lane for you, but we'll see what he intends to do with it. Of course, Eris is already there on the Earthshaker, trying to protect that power rune up at the top lane, just in case. I don't think Makoto really cares, though. He's just going to stack his own neutral camp for himself. Fun fact, by the way, I believe you can still perma-stack the neutral camps with Torrent. Makoto doesn't really bother doing that. I don't believe they've actually fixed that though. So you can actually permanently just keep stacking one neutral camp with Torrent if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think they haven't taken out that vertical box limit, so should still be able to get that done. That's something they could abuse, but so far, I don't think there's any pressure just yet. Like, Mikado's still having a good time mid. They find a kill bot on the Disruptor, and the lanes for Boom are going fantastically well. Like, you are perhaps getting a bit too much farm on a Bat. You could argue that, but overall, everyone else is still finding pretty decent farm here from Boom as well.
I don't think they mind the Void farming too well, because, you know, the Void's not going to be that strong until he gets a few core items. Top lane, however, they try to make a jump on Kezcute. Van is going to jump in there on Van, or rather, Dreamersoul's going to jump in on Van, but won't be able to secure the kill. However, Courier does go down, and never mind. Kezcute gets the kill onto Van with the Melodict.
Yeah, it's the last tick is always the one that burst it down, and he lost a lot. So they rotated heroes there to try to get that done.
Mid lane
doesn't pay off in mid.
They're rotating in. Makoto got the boat out. Fisher Block is there with the spear to come in, though the X-Boat did still connect. Jamesy, Torrent as well, going to be there with the Tidebringer hit. And you had a couple rotations just in case from Kezcute and Hyde. Makoto, he didn't need it. He did it himself.
Yeah, this is really bad for Cignal. They're throwing supports down mid to try to help out Jamesy, but it's not enough to turn anything around, and now you've got Eris caught out by Hyde as well.
Yeah, Hyde's got that level 2 or level 3 now, so he's got the level 2 battery assault. Sprout gonna be there, FBZ. We'll let Hyde take the kill. That's the thing with that Earthshaker, John. I'm telling you, you just can't run away. If that clock's on top, you can't do anything. And now, Makoto, Kezcute going to go onto Grims. The poor Disruptor has absolutely zero chance of surviving this. Jamesy, though, does throw the arena down onto Kezcute. He could secure a killing spree, and does. Does get a fair bit of gold out of that Witch Doctor, but now it's not really worth your life Gonna hide with the battery assault. Makoto with the Tidebringer hit. Once again, gonna kill off that Mars.
Yeah, it's one trade after the other, but Boom still leads at 1-7, 2K advantage. They are leaving their side lanes a bit, so a bot does get, again, more free farm, but it looks like Boom really just doesn't care about that Void. They're still finding more farm across the map despite that, and they're applying that pressure. So this delay on Jamesy means our Mars is not going to be ready to fight early, and that is going to hurt the presence of Cignal. They need to be ready to play around the back, but they just can't with this kind of deficit.
No, that they can't. And you're going to have this Ricky farming pretty well as well. Like, Dreamersaur's second in net worth only to his own Kunkka at the moment. So I just don't think they care about the Void. And in fact, bot lane, Eris being jumped on again. Glim's back on hide, but it won't matter. The Torrent connected. And Makoto does get the kill once again with a Tidebringer hit. He's just hitting so hard right now. He was just farming a neutral camp and just swung his sword.
Yeah, it's this point where the Kunkka does get a bit out of control. They do
top
jump
lane.
top, though.
Yeah. Do they have detection?
What?
Oh, you can't. Oh, look at the Dreamersaur. He drops an item in front of him as well. Are you kidding?
Oh, man.
You come up with Chrono with no dust?
Ah, yeah, that's a huge... They have a sentry. I think they were banking on that. It was in the wrong spot.
Eris has dust.
Wait, what?
Eris has dust. Was it cooldown?
I think he was out of range. I think he walked up there, like to the side, so he wasn't not close enough. It's just a huge waste. That was the first Chrono. They could have found Dreamocell now. They're going to be pushing in, but the TPs are coming out.
Yeah, Makoto, he would love an X, and he wants Van. Torrent, perfect from Makoto. He hits everything. Just throws the boat in as well, and Van just won't survive this. Makoto taking another kill. He's really playing on point this Kunkka this game, John. 4-0 with 1 assist thus far. We're only 8.5 minutes in. He's finding a kill every 2 minutes so far, and or mid lane now. Melodict and Coconut being thrown out onto Grims, and there's no way out. FBZ will take the kill with the Nature's Wrath.
Yeah, it's just a slow dismantling
Jamesy?
here. Oh no.
Tries for the TP. Makoto has the X. And I'm not sure about farming Radiant Jungle right now. If you are Cignal Ultra, Eris is also there. Doesn't really have any wards to place down. Looks like he's just kind of stuck as to what to do on this Earthshaker at the moment. And I don't know where he is safe. FBZ just going to kind of run into him. Eris will TP out. Bot lane, they are going after a harder target. They want Van again. And Nice Fisher is there, but Van is probably still going to die. Hide with the battery assault. Kescute with the final auto attack does get the kill.
We're at 1-12 at sub 10 minutes. This is a lot of blood being spilled with not much to show for it for Cignal. Boom. At a 5k lead now. They have a lot more going for them. This slow start from Cignal is going to hurt. You're not seeing progression in Jamesy. You're not seeing great progression on Van. And
FBZ, that's a nice kill. Jamesy setting up there with the arena. FBZ does die. They've just got to find more of those. They can't take team fights at the moment. They just need to get solo pickoffs, it seems.
Yeah. It's all about finding those pickoffs, and if Cignal can kind of punish Boom's highly aggressive play.
Yeah, this is another nice one. Great play from Jamesy. It has been a bit rough on Cignal, right? Because your Mars had such a bad laning stage that he could really never take off. But I suppose now he's caught up a little bit. He can actually afford to join in.
Yeah, he's not really farmed up, but I think you're at the EXP spike where you can get more done. So they are starting to punish. It's still a lot to work against, though. We're still talking about 4k in the bank going against you, and again, Cignal needs to get some EXP up. Particularly, Grims just needs to level in Static Storm, has his 6. Just need that up, and you could play around with a Void now.
Oh, hookshot gonna be there. Grims, no chance of survival here on that Disruptor. I believe he had Glimpse, but it wasn't gonna be in time anyway. You could try glimpsing the clock away after the hook, but it's just, if you're that low, you're probably gonna die. Just doesn't waste any time.
It's it's not the worst losses for Cignal though, right? Like at least recently it has just been supports being sacrificed, so you're giving space to Abbat to farm.
Mid
He is
lane.
inching closer.
Eris. That death ward. Kescute will take it. Such a simple combination, but it just is so effective here from Boom Esports.
Yeah, and they're again pumping out that early aggression. This is Cignal really just buying space for a bot. He is saving up for a Mask of Madness into BKB. So they just want to fight around that, but
Kescute, he's going to die. Nice pickup here from, or maybe not. Torrent comes in. Kescute, no, he does go down. Again, a nice setup there from Jamesy. You're just taking any kill you can get, and that's what's important. But now that the arena is down, Hyde, great hook shot again onto that Disruptor. Grims has Static Storm, but doesn't know where to commit. He does commit onto Hyde, but he'll be fine to run out of there. The rest of Cignal aren't joining in. Van, he has Roar up. Chrono, great from a bat, catching 2. They take down 1. Now with the Roar, don't tell me there's no dust. There is this time. Eris will commit the Echo and will secure the kill. Makoto will run away. And Cignal Ultra, they're making their way back in now.
yeah, they've got certain tools coming out as well. You see the blink up and running on Jamesy, so he can set up for his team, and he has been doing a bang-up job of buying that space, buying the openings for Cignal. If they ride off the back of Jamesy's initiation, I think they can find a lot more valuable pickoffs. You've got the Mask of Madness flying out for Abbat, so his farm kicks up into gear, and his damage as well can start to build up in that Chrono. But boom, if they understand these timings, they smoke up, they know they can play while the Chrono's down.
That they can. And for some reason, it's always Van they go after. And poor old Van is going to die in a very slow and painful death. Meanwhile, top lane, they tried to make a chase onto FBZ, but FBZ actually has an Orchid up, so he does silence Jamesy, but now he gets a spear off, and this will be an important one, although Makoto is coming in, getting the X and boat off FBZ. He just man fights. Grims goes down, Fisher out, but do they have an Echo? No, they do not. Jamesy does commit Arena. Now a Bat comes in, also silenced up, just man fighting up against FBZ, does win that one out. Makoto, however, may prove to be too tanky. So it'll be a 2-for-1 trade. That'll be enough. Both sides just back out of there.
Yeah, it's a much more favorable trade for Boom. And they did find 2 heroes. They did also kill off Jamesy, who was carrying that momentum. So a favorable trade for Boom. You do force Abbat to try to jump in, skip some farm time as well. Just a bit of time being taken away from her Void, and Boom. I mean, they've still got room to grow. Like, Dream Assault's been joining these fights, but he doesn't actually have any items up despite his farm. I believe that is his Diffusal flying in now, though. So the damage from our Ricky should kick up. His control should kick up as well, and that might be enough to give Boom a bit of a spike here as they continue to play aggressive.
Well, this is that point now where you do want to play aggressive as that Ricky with that Diffusal. And basically, anyone dies if he gets the Blink Diffusal into the, actually great hook shot in from Hyde. He took the bounty rune off for Eris as well, up at that top lane. And poor Eris was just trying to secure it with the Fisher, knowing he would probably die for taking that bounty, and he doesn't even get that.
Yeah, it's a rough time for us, Eris. This hurts the blink timing of her Shaker. So you're taking away some potency of the team fights of Cignal as well. And it just makes them much more reliant on their Void and on Amor. They Cignal right now, they do have the Chronosphere ready to go from a bot. They don't quite have the mana, and I think they're just going to slow it down a bit. They don't want to force the big 5v5s. They'll just wait for an opening. Before that, just kind of farm up.
The Cignal Ultra will just stick together for now as well, down to that bot lane. Van, he's going to TP up towards that top. They're going to go after FBZ again. Van has the Roar, but FBZ understanding something's wrong. Did back off for a bit, but now thinking about going back in because Hyde did get onto Van. Roar will be committed, but Van may still be dead. The Coconut flies out, and he will die to FBZ. Now Eris just going to make a run for it. Hook shot in. Hyde doesn't connect on the Earthshaker, and that'll mean Eris can run out of there. I say that though, Makoto and Kescute are looping around. No, there's no way out. There is no way out. They are not giving any openings. Boom Esports will find him as well. And that top lane, the tier 2 tower, is easily going to be taken out here by Boom.
Yeah, there's no defense coming out. Cignal, they're trying to trade a tier 1 bot. They should be able to find that objective, but it's not an important one for Boom to hold on to.
No,
So
it
the
is
map
not.
for Cignal, it's just going to shrink, and that means the area you have to farm does shrink as well. You're not going to be able to safely build up on a bot. This is going to hurt that progression you need on that Faceless Void, and Boom just continue to widen that lead. 9k advantage, 7-22 at 17 minutes in. It's getting harder and harder for Cignal to find that opening they need.
That it does. How's the Bat doing in farm now? He's got the BKB up soon. It's just so necessary up against the Witch Doctor Kunkka. Even the clock can be quite infuriating if you don't have that BKB up, but the hook shot will still be able to go through that BKB. So you've got to be a bit concerned about that. And now a Bat would love the BKB to be up, but X, no, nice dodge with that X. Does just time walk away. He was just trying to time it perfectly, and they couldn't get the orchid off from FBZ in time.
It's a missed opportunity. Still, Cignal can be very happy about that escape, as that does waste Boom's time this time around. And they don't lose the farm on the bot. So, still gonna have control there, but I don't think Boom's gonna let go. They still want to force something out.
Yeah, X is on a Bat. Can he time walk this one off? No, Orchid is there. They missed the torrent, but it won't matter. Hook shot, trying to go onto Grims, but he will barely just juke it out. And now Arena. Jamesy does drop it straight on top of Kenskute. He will die immediately. Now the team fight begins. Hyde, he'll go onto Van. Torrent will connect. Van is in huge, huge trouble. Spirit Vessel there as well, and they just kill him off. In fact, Grims gets a glimpse off onto Makoto, but they got the X on Grims. Dreamer Cell to pick up another kill for himself now on that Ricky. And have we found another? Yeah, we have. Jamesy getting caught in the Kongs there by the Pos 4 clock. Really has no way out of this situation. Will also die. And we might have a full team wipe, John. Eris also getting caught out now on the Earthshaker. Just one by one.
Yeah, they just keep melting individually, and Cignal's never able to get off that big chrono with the Static Storm, with the Arena to follow up. And when they can't get that team fight as they'd want, this draft falls apart. There's just not much it does when you don't chain that. So Cignal, a lot of pressure from them to try to get that perfect team fight out, but without opening, Boom, straight to the pit.
Why not? It's very, very easy. You have those treants to tank, and even if you're not hitting that hard yet, that Medallion of Courage, it's really not that hard to take this Roshan out. So, first Rosh of the game will go to Boom Esports. They do currently have a 13k net worth lead at almost 20 minutes in, and that might just grow if they find more bounty runes than the side of Cignal Ultra do. In fact, they are TPing down, so there could be another big team fight coming out here. Van has to be so careful. He's running up to that high ground, but he is going to get punished. Though James jumps in, does get a nice arena, but now the smoke screen is there, and it's very hard to capitalize. Van is still dropping. Still, Raw is out on FBZ. They do get a trade, but now Jamesy, he's going to try and fight back. Static Storm really locking nobody in. They'll go after Hyde, but Dream Assault jumps back in onto the Mars. Now Chrono is going to be pretty decent. However, he's been disarmed. Bone flies in as well, and the Chrono is wasted. Oh, a Bat. He didn't see the halberd there on Makoto. He just got it. And now Eris will go down as the fourth. The only man to walk out is Grims and Hyde. He was in the chase, but he didn't get a chance to get the hook shot off. So at least it's not a full team wipe, but it may as well be.
Oh yeah, it's not looking great for Cignal. That was probably one of the cleaner kind of initiations they did, except, you know, it wasn't even clean. You mentioned it. No one in the Static Storm. Disarm and Chrono. Not quite what you'd want here, Cignal. So they still have that potency. They just need to really clean that execution up. Boom, they widen lead 9-32. 17k advantage, and they might find Van.
They love going after this Beastmaster. That's going to be his 9th death of the game. Makoto is just Makoto's 7-0 and
Ouch.
7-0-17 on this Kunkka. He's just destroying them. Bot lane, hook shot in. Looks like they have got the Void as well. Bat just trying to farm up while he's still alive. And Jamesy will also die. Dreamer Cell now with a double. In fact, could be another. Grims, he got away last time, but not this time. He is surrounded. Coconut comes out. He is very happy, apparently. Static Storm being dropped. That'll really do nothing. He just dropped it.
Ooh.
It's time for that high ground.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop this. They've got the heals up.
GG.
That's it. Yep. Ooh, Cignal.
Poor Eris, he just couldn't even get to the blink, John.
No, he was completely kept in check, and boom, they really dominated both games. Cignal, that's the continuation of a really rough time here in the BTS Pro Series, but you know, I think that actually does lock them out. They don't have any more games to play, so unfortunately, that looks to be the last game they'll play here in the BTS Pro Series Season 2, but that's not the last games for today. You do still have one more series coming up, right, Mike?
That we do, John. TNC are going to be up against Reality Rift for the final series of the night. Both those teams right now are sitting at 7th and 8th place respectively. TNC sitting in 7th and Reality Rift sitting in 8th. Neither team can really afford to drop losses right now. I don't think they go into the elimination part of the group stage anyway. I believe that is already locked in for Execration and Cignal Ultra. So you are going to go to the lower bracket regardless with these two. I believe, though, TNC might have a chance to try and get to the upper bracket because they do have two series, one of them being tonight, one of them being tomorrow night. And if they could 2-0, and I'll double check this while we're in the break, but there is a chance they could try to get to that 4th place position in the group stage, which would put them in the upper bracket. However, we will double check. Don't take that as gospel quite yet. I'll tell you after the break. It is MLP Dota and JohnXFire. We'll see you all again very, very soon for that 3rd series of the day.